Good morning, St. Louis. Welcome back to another episode of Who's Talk Mobile, where conversations get deep and intellectual. I'm your host, Artemis Caldwell, founder and CEO of Who Is Incorporated, the best nonprofit organization out there. If you know, but if you didn't know, now you know. And y'all already know my co-host, always with me, my right-hand man.
Yeah. Yes, me.
Gabe, what's up? Go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you good.
Well, yeah, Gabe, coach everybody.
Yeah, CEO Flip St. Louis.
Yeah.
Real estate company. We buy and sell homes in St. Louis. So if you need to sell a home, go ahead, call me, or get in contact with Artemis.
Most definitely. And we'll set that up. But y'all, special. Y'all know this man right here. I send lots of love, lots of praise to him all the time. I don't even know how to introduce man amongst men, my superhero in flesh and blood. I don't even know how to even what I believe in. The man who raised me from day one. Everybody, this is my dad.
How y'all doing?
This is my dad, y'all. Ronnell, Hudson, Ron. Man amongst men, y'all. Real special. Reason. Actually, the reason I wanted you on this episode is just so you could tell us, one, what is manhood, and then just as young men, as for me and Gabe, just to know when people talk about being a man or having to, again, know what it is, growing up into your manhood. I don't know if I'm phrasing that right.
That's the question.
I don't know if I'm phrasing that right.
It's being a man is just actually being yourself. Where you can walk around with your head high, make your own decisions. That's my input of being a man, because too many of young men, young people follow. They want to follow and do what somebody else does. But if you can just, take your own path, make your own path rather, that's a tremendous feeling.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you don't have to do what everybody else is doing, to be a man. To be a man is standing on your own. That's first and foremost. You have your own ideas,
Yeah.
And that's what I always taught you. Any other young man I come across, I say, hey, be your own person. Because if don't nobody respect, if you don't respect yourself, ain't nobody else gonna respect you.
Yeah.
So you got to walk in your own shoes. You know what I'm saying? I like I told you, always be your own person. Because if you be your own person, and if you mess up, you fail, that's your failure. It's nobody else's.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If whatever you doing, and if you fail at it, man, at least I failed at it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you make the mistake, make it be your own mistake. Don't let it be nobody else's.
Yeah.
I had to grow into that, as a young adult. I didn't, as a late teen, early adult, I was a follower for the most part. I wanted to go out and go sell drugs and go do this and go do that. And then I said about 21, 22, I came into my own, you know what? Let me try something different. Because it ain't been working these last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Let me try something different. So that's when I made the choice. I guess I was 22. And I said, you know what? I'm going to be my own man. If something I'm going to do, and if it's going to go wrong, it's going to be Ronnell's wrong. It ain't going to be nobody else's wrong. So I started to just walk amongst myself. Learn to be by myself. So from then, 22, I ain't gonna say what year it was, but from 22, 23, when my first son was born, I was like, you know what? I'm going to change my whole thought pattern. Let me let all these friends go, and whatever comes about. And that's what I tried to teach you. That's what I taught you, and I taught your younger brother. The same thing. Be your own person.
Yeah. Can I ask?
Yeah.
What what can a young person learn from being by themselves? Because you said that but when you was by yourself 20, 22, 21, being by yourself, you was able to take on the path of following yourself.
You can have self-reliance, you know what I'm saying? Self-motivation. You know, you don't need nobody else to say, oh, let's go do this, let's go do this. You make your own decision. Okay, I wanna go do this. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to lead nobody, but for sure don't follow anyone. You know? And that's why I instilled in you from a long time ago, you know, you don't have to lead anyone, but definitely don't follow anyone. Because being your own person is just making your own decision.
Yeah. Another thing on another episode, I was telling everybody another value thing that you instilled in me was or lesson I should say was don't ever be tired of being a bigger person. You know, and that really helped me in my life. Just on the tip of with who is I'm always willing to help the next person, whether not if it's going to hurt me, but everyone that I come across, everyone would say that he's a nice guy, get a shirt off his back, always be the bigger person. I even find the same trait in Gabe, where it's been situations where I was kind of losing it, and he'll remind me hey, I think you should go about it this way.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's a part of being a bigger person, learning how to take advice.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's never you can never have too much advice. You know, either wrong or right. You know, you're gonna have to make the decision. But if this man tell you, hey man, something you're not doing right, and you got to sit back and be like, okay, that's a truly when you accept advice, that's how you grow. You know, you're gonna sometimes that advice may hit you in the gut, but it might be that gut punch that you need to be like, okay, maybe I was off track a little bit.
Right.
You know, and what else did you say? I'm sorry.
No, yeah, I think you got it all.
And the biggest thing we gotta do is respect. No matter what a person is doing, you have to respect that next man or that next woman. That's first and foremost. You give respect, you're gonna get respect. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to command it, but if you give it, it's gonna come back to you. You know, and don't never see somebody doing something as far as work or whatever. You know, you get a person that respect. That's something that younger people, older people too. Don't get me wrong. You got some old heads out here that don't have any respect for themselves. That's first and foremost. They don't have respect for themselves, so they can't give respect to no one else. So if you give respect, you're gonna get it back. And like I used to tell you, people used to always say, AJ, you need to do it like this. I used to always say, hey, do it your way. Because it's gonna go back to the thing is, if you do it your way and you fail, it's your failure. But people gonna have to respect what you do, what I do. It's just all about giving and getting respect. Giving respect is first and foremost. Because if you give it, it's gonna come back to you, and you're gonna you know, smile at it. You know what I'm saying? Later on in life, be like, yeah, I did that.
Yeah.
You know.
How important do you think discipline is as far as being a man, the manhood?
What type of discipline are you saying?
So for example, I got a friend. He used to, or he made a statement to me. He said, think about it like this: do you want to have the pain of discipline, or do you want to experience the pain of regret?
Discipline is hard. Mm-hmm. Regret is easy. Because you could turn the corner and regret that you even turned that corner. But discipline, man, I'm not turning that corner. It takes a lot more to be disciplined, to be more disciplined in your life. You know what I'm saying? The temptation of if you're in a relationship of another woman, you know what I'm saying? That type of discipline. You like, ooh, you know, this girl coming at me, she hot. You know what I'm saying? It takes a lot of discipline. Either way, girl or guy, it takes a lot of discipline to say, you know what? Especially if you're in a relationship, to say, you know what? Nah, I don't think I'm gonna do that. But then, if you don't have discipline, boom, here come the regret. You know what I'm saying? You might not, you know, you in that moment, and ain't no regrets, ain't no discipline. But once you get out that moment, you know, it's like, man, something you may regret. You know, child may come about it. You know what I'm saying? There's something you totally gonna be like, oh man. And it takes a lot more for discipline. It takes a lot for discipline. You know, you got to have a lot of hold on your discipline.
Okay.
I was gonna ask you, what do you talking about young and old people? What's your thoughts? Like, how could we bridge back bridge together the generational gap for like just more so like black people or just our community? Like,
well, okay, I you know what I've always thought, what I always seen, just the older generation. It goes back to respect. The older generation don't respect the younger generation, so therefore the younger generation not gonna respect the older generation.
Why you think that is though?
Because sometimes the older generation set in their ways. You know, they've been doing things for so long. I'm 50. You know what I'm saying?
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, half a century, you know. But a lot of guys, see, I respect you, I respect what you doing, what you saying. You know, if you're doing something wrong, I'm gonna pull you to the side and say, hey, you know what, you might not need to do that. I'm not gonna try to discipline you and say, hey, that you doing is, I ain't do that back in my day. You know? Today's everything is moving forward. It's about moving forward. So if we can't direct our younger generation, instead of disciplining them, just say, hey, try to do it this way. Try to do it this way. You know, if you keep scorning the child, keep scorning them, they gonna have resentment. And you gonna see that resentment like, man, F you. You know, I'm dealing with you. F, man, screw you. You know? But if you take them to the side and say, hey, you know, let's try to do it this way. Let's try to do it this way. You know, you have a better, the younger generation have a better, they'll receive that better than trying to talk down to them. Don't nobody want to be talked down to. I've never wanted to be talked down to. So I had a little resentment, you know.
Yeah.
But if we, as the older generation, start talk to you guys and talk to the youth, it'd be a better thing. But you know, everybody want respect, but you don't want to give it. You know, old half a century people and older, they want all the respect in the world, but you don't want to give it.
See, because my argument was like, a lot of people say that the younger generation feel entitled, but it's like, I feel that it's reversed. Like, I feel that like the older generation feel like they're entitled to respect, but it's like when I say that, it's you have not shown the younger generation anything for them to respect. You know, you see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, so it's like I completely understand when you say respect your elders, but it's like we haven't been taught the history of like the civil rights movement like properly. We haven't like we learning about stuff at school from the people that's like messing our neighborhoods up and like turning it down. But yet when we come home, we're like you said, we're talked down to and like treated like as children. And it's like, well, how can I be in a place like, how can I grow in something like that and respect you at the same time when really I don't know anything going on, you know?
Exactly. I understand truly what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like, I left St. Louis, I was 15, going on 16. I came back, I was 26.
Mm.
I'm a man now.
Yeah.
You know, I had an uncle that talked down on me. You know, I had to tell him, hey man, I'm an adult now.
Mm.
You know, and like with you, I don't treat you like a child. I never talk down to you like a child. And I wouldn't do that. If I wouldn't do that to you, I wouldn't do it to anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I've seen you grow into a man, so now I have to talk to you like a man instead of talking to you like some child. You understand?
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
Because that makes you feel proud. That makes you feel proud. Okay, I got an older guy talking to me in this manner. That makes you have self-confidence in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, instead of just stomping on your neck. You know what I'm saying? And then you like, man, what? And now you run around with attitude. But if you have run with a bad attitude, but if you can talk to in a manner where you feel respected, your chest goes up, your head goes up, your chin is like, yeah. You know, you can walk with some pride. And that's what a lot of blacks don't do. We talk down to our children. We talk down to our young adults instead of talking to them. You have to talk to the children, to your. It don't even have to be your child. It can be anybody. You just talk to them,
Yeah.
and they feel better about themselves.
Yeah, most definitely.
You know, instead of you can't do this or you shouldn't have did that and blah blah. You know what? No. Okay, you did that. That's fine. Let's get over. Let's go to the next step. Let's go to the next thing. You know. So that's the way I feel that we as older as parents and older adults, how we should talk to our younger kids. They doing something wrong, pull them to the side. Hey, you know what? That's not a good look. And then they probably can look at themselves like, yeah, you might be right. You know.
So, all right. What do you think a 20-year-old young man coming out of high school, going into college, what's the most important advice that you would give to him besides being yourself? Like, give him what else could he take home with him?
Stay focused. If you're going to school, stay focused. If you
what if you're not in school?
Well, if you're working, if you're trying to get a job and establish yourself, get in that job and stay focused. That's the best you can do. That's the most you can do. Stay focused. No matter if you're in school or working, you stay focused. Set you some goals. Set you some 5-year goals. You know what I'm saying? And say, hey, this is where I want to be in 5 years. You know, make your strides to accomplishing your goals.
Okay. Well, man, I just wanted you to come on, give us a little bit of knowledge, give everybody a little insight on the man that brought me up. You know.
You know, I don't know it all, but you know, life experiences have you to life experience send you through things so you can be like you can pass on things to young men. And that's what and I see what you guys are doing, and it's wonderful, you know, and that's a blessing, you know, because a lot of young men out here, you know, got multiple kids, and you know, ain't nothing wrong with children, but you got to have the resources, and you must make the time, you know, and with kids, and that's all they need is time.
Yeah.
And, you know, but I just like to see young kids, young men doing well. You know what I'm saying? If it's positive, I'm all for it. You know, and if it's negative, I can pull a coattail and be like, you know, that's not a good look. That's something that don't do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And not. I just want to tell these older people.
Wait, what's the message to them?
Stop ridiculing, criticizing our young youth. Talk to them, nourish them, you know, give them positive advice, because you got to remember, you was young too. You did the same things that they probably doing. It's just we didn't see it. You know? What, 90, I ain't gonna talk, what, 90, 92, 89, wasn't no cameras out. We weren't able to see the things, the bad things we were doing. I know I was doing cutting up, but that's why I can't never say, hey man, y'all shouldn't do that. Nah, I'm not gonna say y'all shouldn't do it, but I'm not gonna talk down to you.
Yeah.
I'm always pull your coat and be like, hey, that ain't a good move. You know? And that's what a lot of older people need to start doing to these younger people. If it ain't number one or two, that's one or two people you can save.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then they can save two people, and then this cycle we can keep going on. And that's what I got to say to you older people. Reach out. Reach back. Because they listening.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Invisible children. Got to look out for them.
yeah. Man, look, man, I love you.
Love you too, man.
Oh, yeah.
Nice to meet you, brother.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah, you'll be back.
Yeah,
You'll be back.
Always a pleasure. Whenever y'all got a platform, you know, you need me to get on this, man. I love to teach the younger generation, man. I love speaking with the younger generation because it keeps me vibrant. You know.
Hey, this is Who Is Family. Me, Artemis Caldwell, founder and CEO of Who Is Incorporated. This guy, Gabe Coach, founder and CEO of Flip St. Louis. Need a house, we got it. Need to sell it, he got it. Let's get it. This guy, Ronnell Hudson, aka my dad, aka Ron at the skating rink, aka the best man in the world. If you don't know, now you know. This is a dynamic trio. Yeah, we out. Yes?
Yep.
Yes.